Steve Mignon here doing the junkyard crawl in Bertone, Massachusetts at Bertone Auto Wrecking. And this is the story of Volvo's first luxury model. Now we all know of Volvo as being a very practical, tough car from Sweden. Their only sports model was the P1800 of the 60s and early 70s, but the first luxury model came along in 1978 through 81 as the 262C Bertone Coupe. Now it's based on the Volvo 240 family of 2- and 4-door cars, but what made it different was this roof. This very formal boxed off roof with the Bertone crest. Now, of course, Bertone is an Italian design house right up there with Pininfarina and all the greats. What happened was apparently that Volvo was inspired by Lincoln Continental Mark IV, which had a very similar roof line. And so for 1978, they brought out the 262C. Now, these were high-end luxury models, nothing but the best, all leather interiors. We see inside it has standard air conditioning, standard power windows. The only option, I believe, was a cassette player, but full leather interior. And these were available either with a 4-speed or 5-speed manual, or more commonly, like this one here, an automatic transmission. Now, the only downside to these cars, well, there are many, but one big downside was, well, we see it right here, 262C 2.7. That is the RPV V6, a 60-degree 2.7 liter V6, which had overhead cams designed by Peugeot, Volvo, and Renault. Now here's the problem with that thing. Although they were used in DeLoreans, they were very prone for camshaft failure. So what would often happen is people would do things like this. Swap in a Ford 5.0, and there it is right there. Now that is a Mustang 5-liter engine. We see HO, it's not a EFI like out of a truck or a Lincoln, but it's probably 225 horsepower right there. And the beauty of Volvos, until they went rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, is that they're rear-wheel drive cars with a tough rear axle. The engine bay is plenty wide. You can see here the 5.0 still has about a half a foot on each side of it. Plenty of room, and they have a nice big drive shaft tunnel, plenty of room for a 5-speed manual if you want to go that way. And again, the rear axles in these things is something called a GKN. It's actually a British design, or sorry, it's a British built license of the Dana 45 rear axle, which has an 8.5-inch ring gear. Tough piece. So the beauty here is 4-wheel disc brakes, rear drive configuration, the custom Bertone body, and in total 6,622 of these things were made between 1978 and 81. Pretty rare car. And in fact, right here, this trim tag even has the word Bertone, Italy. I mean, how exotic is that? But this one's a pretty good example. It's fairly clean. And again, the V6, the 2.7 cam eater, also known as the DeLorean V6, is long gone. In its place is a 5.0. So the Volvo, which means I roll in Latin, by the way, lives on, one of Sweden's more known cars, those in Saabs. But the Bertone Coupe is something that not a lot of people have seen. Again, only 6,600 and change of these were made globally between 1978 and 81. Here's one of them. But this one's had a V8 swap, and that's okay by me. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Mags YouTube channel.